What's up, everybody? Good evening. It's Wednesday. It's We Talking About Sports. We're here with the live show. I'm Roland. I'm joined by the full crew today. I got Justin, Ron, Ben with me. We're going to talk quarterbacks, what everybody likes to talk about. We're hitting that point in the year where there's not a lot to talk about. The NBA wrapped up. The last time you guys saw us live, UFC, not another pay-per-view for a couple of weeks. And all we got is baseball. So what is there better to do than talk about the NFL? Quarterbacks, start getting those reps in, start getting ready for fantasy football, start doing some research. This is like preliminary for us. Start getting into the divisional breakdowns here pretty soon. But before we get into all of that, let me throw it to the co-host here. Justin, how you doing tonight?
Doing good. Like Roland mentioned, ready to talk about this top 10 list. Top 10 lists can get a little controversial. Sometimes we like a player where they're put. Sometimes we don't like where they're put. The one thing this year that's for damn certain is number one is locked in stone. 2 through 10 can be shuffled for me, but number one is locked in stone and probably going to be that way for at least 5 to 6 more years.
Speak for yourself, Justin.
Chill with all that noise, dog.
Ben, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. It's good to be here, all four of us. Football's around the corner when the whole crew's back together.
When everybody shows up,
the boys get excited for football. So we're unveiling the top 5 QB rankings. We're gonna find out, who was ranked where on whose list. Had some comments, had some people questioning some rankings. So today we're here to unveil everything, give you our top 10 QBs like we've been doing on a yearly basis.
Hell yeah. And Ron, how are you doing? Down in the We Talking About Sports merch.
Shit all day, baby. I'm great, bro. Everybody showed up to work today because it's NFL season. Let's be honest, man. There's nothing better to talk about than the fucking NFL. What we're gonna do today is go through the top 10 quarterbacks, like Roland said. 10 through 6 are already kind of our consensus, and those are at the bottom of the screen if you guys want to check it out. If you want to, put your top 10 quarterbacks in the comments. And then since you already know what 10 through 6 is, we're gonna break down our 1 through 5s.
There we go.
Pretty fucking badass.
Thanks for laying it out there for the folks that are watching. I see some people are watching right now. If you guys are watching, throw us a like, hit us a share. Much appreciated. We're in the comments. What's up, Eddie? He's agreeing with you, Justin. Nothing else but Patrick Mahomes to discuss. But we still got to show love to everybody here. It is a top 10. And, we see some quarterbacks pictured up here. Some guys that we've talked about, we've dropped on Facebook, and we've had a little bit of discussion about in the comments. But I'm also showing a couple of other guys, some guys who didn't make the list, some honorable mentions, if you will, or some snubs, depending how you look at it. We got Jordan Love, Aaron Rodgers, and Jared Goff joining the guys. These were all guys that we may have had in our top 10s, but just because of the way the rankings shook out, they didn't make it. But I'm going to throw it to Ron here because Ron was particularly high on Jared Goff. I think he almost had him at number 6. We're going to throw up the rankings at the end that everybody had individually. But Ron, share some love for Jared Goff here.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's just the performance that he's had the last couple of years. I mean, let's face it, where were the Lions before he got there? They weren't doing very well. Now, it's not just Jared Goff. We know all the pieces that they added, but somebody's got to get the ball to Amon-Ra St. Brown, right? Somebody has to have that strong arm to push the ball down the field. I think he's shown a lot, man, and that's why I have him at number 6. He got a lot of shit when he was with the Rams after, they had that Super Bowl run, then completely fell off. Then he goes to Detroit. Everybody's saying this guy's career is over. He's not with the Super Bowl contender anymore, and he's kind of just showed out. I mean, let's be honest. They had a deep run last year. They're probably one of the favorites in the NFC this year. So just overall performance, overall leadership from where he was and where he was supposed to go to where he's at now, I think he's shown a lot of people that they shouldn't have counted him out. So that's why I have him, my personal rankings at number 6, middle of the pack. I'm not saying he's over here with the Mahomeses and the Josh Allens just yet, but he's not down there, in number 9 or 10 for me.
No, Ron, I got to back you up there. I mean, I didn't have him in my top 10 personally, and I'll throw it to Justin and Ben for a differing opinion. But, I mean, he threw for 4,500 yards for a second consecutive year pretty much with the Lions. So, on top of 30 touchdowns, he had 29 the year before. So, some consistent play out of Jared Goff. Like Ron said, he's slinging it around. Justin, Ben, you want to detract here? Any reason why you didn't have Jared Goff in your top 10s?
I mean, I do think that he's gotten that stench away from him of just being the reason that the team doesn't get over the hump, because he has made the Lions relevant along with the new coach, the new culture, and just, everything. But he is a signal caller, so he should get some credit. But I mean, overall, he's just a guy that to me, if he's not playing indoors, I mean, you just don't know what you're going to get. You've seen him in the big game. You know, they scored 3 points or they got shut out. So Jared Goff has, become a very respectable NFL pro after moving from the Rams to Detroit, where, let's be honest, a lot of people might have thought he went to, maybe die, not resurrect his career, because that's what he's done. He definitely resurrected his career. So I had him on the outside in, but, I don't mind him being in the top 10 just based off what we've seen the last couple of years.
Yeah, definitely. What about you, Justin? Any remarks on Jared Goff, or you want to move on to the next honorable mention?
No, I'm with Ben. He's gotten a little bit better. They don't ask him to do as much. He does have some nice weapons in Laporta and Amon-Ra, so he's done well with them. The only problem with him is still in the big game. He's kind of, not come up as much. At 6 through 10, you put him in there. I'm not going to argue that, Ron. That's fine.
Yeah, no, definitely respectable. I like him in that ranking. Ron just calling his shot there. The next guy, he didn't quite make the rankings. I think he was ranked in 2 of our lists. It's Jordan Love, the first-year starter, or the first full year starting for the Green Bay Packers, resulted in a pretty good playoff run, which they completely, trounced the Cowboys in that first round in Dallas, took care of business. Jordan Love really came onto the scene this year, came on strong. Ben, you had him highest in your rankings. What do you like about Jordan Love? Is it more of what you see in the future, or did you see enough where you're like, hey, this guy for sure is a top 10 signal caller?
Yeah, I had him at about 9 or 8. I believe we'll see it at the end here, but it's a little mixture of both. I mean, look at what he did. He also had the 49ers on the brinks as well. I mean, that was a game that went down to the wire. A lot of people thought the 49ers were going to roll. This guy had his main receiver, missing. Was it Watson most of the season?
Yep.
Aaron Jones was out for a while. We saw him make do with, a plethora of just fill-in guys at receiver and even at tight end. So he did it. I mean, 32 touchdowns, 11 INTs.
Yep.
I mean, those are great numbers, 4,000 yards. Now he gets somebody like Josh Jacobs, a more traditional, ground and pound guy, to where hopefully you think play action and all those things, a healthy receiving core might come into play and, just more time. But here's another guy that sat a couple years under a legend, Hall of Famer, and comes in guns a-blazing. You know what I mean? Put up really good numbers, went on the road, beat Dallas, went into San Francisco, gave them hell. I mean, the Packers, I think, overachieved by a lot, but it might not be that way. Well, based off what we saw Jordan Love, do in the playoffs, they might be here to stay.
No, I like that. I'm not going to add much more onto that because I did have Jordan Love in my top 10. I'm going to throw it to Ron or Justin here, the 2 Cowboys fans alongside myself. We had to witness Jordan Love going into Big D and taking care of business there. Why did you guys keep Jordan Love off your top 10?
I think I had him at 10. I think that's where I had him at, actually. And I think his trend is up big time. The only thing that keeps me with some pause was his first half of the season wasn't that great. It was the backstretch where he really put it on. So I believe that's where the trend's going to continue. And I do think he'll be in the top 10 as far as quarterbacks go when we're talking about this list next year.
There we go. Fair enough. And Ron, were you being a little bit of a Cowboys homer here? You just had a little bit of, still that pain in your heart keeping him off the top 10, or you just couldn't find room for him?
No, man, I'm done. Like this Dak Prescott situation with the Cowboys, it's over. You have reports now coming out that, well, let me get to Gabe real quick because he said, why is Brock on this list? But he actually comes in at number 6 consensus. So just to kind of clear that up, Gabe, he was number 2 on my list, just real quick. But no, man, to me, I'm done. This report's coming out that the injury might be worse than it is.
I think you misunderstood me. I was asking about Jordan Love and why you kept him.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, no worries.
I heard a homer pick, and I thought we were talking about that.
No. I just like, were you just staying true to the colors?
Sure. Yeah. Jordan Love to me was off my list because it was just that tail end of the year last year. There's too much. The sample size is too small for him. Now, do I think his ceiling is going to be great next year with the pieces that they've added? Just like you guys said, he's sad. He knows the system. Seems like he gets along with the coach. What coach doesn't want to, kind of cultivate his own rookie young quarterback? They don't want a quarterback like Aaron Rodgers who, there might be like coach or quarterback. Now he doesn't even have to worry about that. I think there's a better relationship. He's growing within the franchise. And so the future is very high. I think he's perfect as, a top 15 guy, but top 10, not yet.
Fair enough. And Ron, hold that prior thought. We'll get to that later, because I think Justin, he mentioned big games coming into play here. And, I think that all matters when you were talking about the guy you were getting into. And I think you're talking about Dak. But I'm not going to spend too much time on Aaron Rodgers. I had him up in my rankings just because out of pure respect, really. I still think he's one of the better just pure passers in the league. But I'm going to throw it to Ron. Gabe, you broke the ice here. I think we all wanted to know, how did Brock Purdy make the list? He wasn't ranked on, I think, 2 of our lists. I think 2 of the pod members had him ranked high. Ron, you had him number 2.
Yeah.
Do you want to, cape for your boy a little bit before we get into the top 5?
Talking about back-to-back Super Bowl appearance, coming off a season where he was in the MVP talk. I mean, you're a missed block. Was it the right tackle, or like a missed blocking assignment, or just a hell of a play by the defensive end on that side from winning the Super Bowl? Now, that's why he's not at number 1 for me. Only Patrick Mahomes can make that play and adjust and hit, Ayuk in the corner of the end zone by the back post to win the Super Bowl. But dude, this guy's done nothing but, win. He doesn't take sacks a lot. He's not a guy who's going to throw a lot of picks. Now, the story was the dink and the dunk, and Ayuk and Debo, and obviously the best running back, CMC, is in that offense as well. But look, he doesn't fuck it up. He gets you where he needs to get you. He plays his role, and that's what you want in a quarterback. Now, I loves fantasy. Now, he's not the highest fantasy guy, but when you see the Herberts and the Goffs and the Lamars, we were talking about it off cam, you're going to want Purdy, or you're going to want Lamar in the big game. Purdy or Goff, Purdy or Herbert. Dare I say Purdy or Josh Allen? Josh Allen hasn't gone as far as Purdy has.
He hasn't won the big game, so I mean.
Well, Allen hasn't even got to the big game, and he's been in the league a lot more. So that's just my reason for having him at number 2. He's a solid guy. He's not going to, make a lot of mistakes, and he's going to get your team to the end of the year and give you the best chance to win.
Fair enough. Ben or Ron, any rebuttal there? I mean, Ben or Justin, any rebuttal, or you guys just want to get into the top 5?
No, I had Brock Purdy in my top 10 as well. I think I had him at 9 or 10. I believe it was him or Jordan Love. I can't remember where I put him, but he is a very good anticipator of the ball. He knows where to place it. The dink and dunk, some of it does exist. He is a beneficiary of George Kittle, Debo, Ayuk, CMC. He does benefit from that, but you have to be a game manager to do as well. And he's a really, really good game manager. He's really good at that. So in the top 10, no rebuttal there for me from Ron.
The one thing that does give that side any type of validity, Ron, I know you're big on validity.
They asked what I brought to Griselda. I said
validity. And it's just that Purdy was in the MVP race.
Yeah, he was the MVP favorite.
Just in the MVP race, right?
Legit odds. He was the favorite 2-3 weeks left in the season. So I get it, but I mean, number two's crazy. Number 2 is crazy.
Yeah. I won't go as far as saying he's the number 2 quarterback, but I do think there is argument for him to be number 10, number 9, kind of where Justin had him ranked. He's fringe, and then at that level, those guys that we were talking about at number 10, Jalen Hurts, Dak Prescott at 10 and 9. I think you can make the argument that based on the play last year, that Purdy could come in above maybe Jalen Hurts. I don't know about Dak, but that's questionable. It's all there. It's splitting hairs, I think, at that level. But that's why we're here to talk about it, because it's quarterbacks. It's everybody's favorite position, the most important position
about
in the NFL.
Sports. Baby.
And let's get into it. Let's talk about the top 5.
Top five.
Let's go. Number 5. Oh, actually, I'm on the wrong screen here. Excuse the producer and me. Number 5, CJ Stroud, a rookie. So we had Purdy in the top 10 as a second-year guy. We got Stroud off the back of a rookie season where he put up 4,100 passing yards, which was good for 3rd all-time in terms of rookies behind Andrew Luck. And I'm blinking out on the second guy. I just was looking at him right now. Not important. Justin
Ben?
Herbert. Justin Herbert,
Probably
second
Herbert,
place. Yeah, and the 23 pass touchdowns, 5 interceptions, 167 rush yards, 3 touchdowns. Really came onto the scene in that I think it was like middle of the season loss against the Jaguars where he threw for 300 yards, and then he went on to throw for 300 like 3 or 4 weeks in a row. Really staking his claim as rookie of the year, and even had himself in the MVP conversation as a rookie. Ben, you knew we were going to throw it to you here. You had him ranked the highest. You're wearing the Stroud jersey. What do you like about your boy? Why did you have him at 3? And let's just get into it.
I had him at 3 just based off what we saw, based off, when we talk about those quarterbacks that we call the elite ones, we say the team's success lies on that quarterback's shoulders. There's teams like the 49ers where it's a mix of CMC and then Brock Purdy has to make, 5 to 7 throws, in the big game to win. CJ Stroud, on the other hand, he's a quarterback that's going to be throwing the ball 40, sometimes 50 times a game. The Texans he's a franchise changer. How quickly he changed the franchise. He got that win, albeit at home. I mean, dude, it was awesome to go to a game and see the Texans win, much less it be a playoff game. But against a defense like the Browns, a rookie in the playoffs, yes, it was a home game, but that Browns defense for the large part of the season was the number one, total defense in the NFL. Just based off passing stats, rushing stats, sacks. They had the defensive player of the year, Myles Garrett.
They had bad home road splits, but I see where you're going for sure.
And they smacked them. But they say defense does travel. They say that's the one thing. And I mean, they had 30 points at halftime. It was awesome to see. So for me, CJ Stroud, I mean, even look at how the Texans got that good that quick, and it brings things like Stephon Diggs. It brings things like Joe Mixon. Houston is a city that it's one of those bigger cities some of these athletes don't mind living in, even if it's in the off season. Dude.
Yeah, for sure.
People are gravitating towards Houston again, and it's all because of the success that he brought and that, DeMeco Ryans as a coach, the culture he's bringing. But I see, MVP in the near future, bro. I mean, the next 3 years, I think that if he pans out, with the weapons that they have, we talk about all, Purdy and all his weapons. The Texans, they got horses everywhere this year. So
I like that. He's probably going to be one of the shorter odds to win MVP this year. Probably top 5 odds, up with the Mahomes, the Allens, and the Burrows of the world, I'd imagine. So you're onto something there. Before I throw it to Justin, because he had him ranked the lowest out of everybody here. If you guys are watching, hit us with a like. Please share. Everything's appreciated. A like, comment, share, much would be appreciated. Justin, why did you have Stroud behind Purdy? What's going on there?
Pull his Ohio State card, bro. Purdy
just is the beneficiary, like I said, of a better offense. I think the talent that's there is a little bit more established. Stroud, great quarterback. He's in my top 10, so there's no problem with me there. Third best with passes above 20 yards, so he takes care of the ball as well. I have no problem. I've seen CJ Stroud since, high school at Rancho Cucamonga when I'm, prospecting him, hoping he's going to Ohio State. This kid can ball. I am wary of a little bit of a sophomore slump, but other than that, this kid is good. He's a stud.
So
trending up.
I'm just getting back to the 9 versus 10 with Purdy and Stroud. Do you really think Purdy's a better quarterback than Stroud? Because you just talked about the talent around Purdy. I mean, I'm just looking for you to back up that claim.
No, not necessarily. I think in a vacuum, if it's the same receivers, Stroud does more with his talent. But the thing is, the talent around Purdy is just a little bit more, so I give him the edge. And these lists are subjectable. Like I said, one day I could feel 2 through 10, and you throw a dice and you say, this is number 2, this is number 3, and I'm good. Number 1 is the only position on this list where I'm really solidified, where I won't back down. 2 through 10 to me is, they're fluid. It's a fluid list.
And the only reason why I say that, and the reason why I'm saving Ron for last, is because Ron, Ben, and myself all had him at number 3. So he almost was unanimous 3, but he's at 5 due to the 10th ranking. So
I demand a recount.
So Ron, do you want to finish us off here with Stroud? Pause.
Ron, bro. I need to pick a bone.
Ron had him at 3.
Yeah, I mean, hey, I gave respect where respect is due. I'm one of the guys that says you need to show me how you do it on the field. You know, stats don't really matter. I mean, stats matter, but to me, it's like, dude, CJ Stroud is a winner. You know, he took his team where he needed to take him, and he's just the future, man. It's just very repetitive because there's such a small sample size, so everybody's gonna say the same thing, but everything everybody's saying is the fucking same. That this guy's great. Yeah, he's got to be top 3.
It's kind of like the Burrow thing, right? Like,
yeah, I
mean,
mean,
Burrow did have a Super Bowl run, but you could kind of just see it. Like with Burrow, you could see it coming out of college. With CJ Stroud, I mean, I would think a guy like Justin, you know, a big Ohio State guy.
He was our number 1 quarterback.
He was our number 1 quarterback. We definitely saw it. He's in the top 10, and his trend is up.
But at 10, Justin?
Yeah, 10's like just,
the Ohio State bias is worth 3 spots at least.
No, I can't be biased. Like, I'm just not a biased guy.
Who did you have at 9, 8, and like 7? Then
you had Purdy at.
It was just I just pulled up Purdy versus Stroud. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not. Okay. I mean.
Fair enough. Just to wrap it up on Stroud, he's one of those guys. He came onto the scene and he already looked polished. He already looked like he knew what he was doing week 1. Did it result in wins right away? It took a little while, but they got going, and you know they're going to be a force to be reckoned with in the AFC South and the AFC for years to come. And let's see if all that talent that they've accumulated on paper actually comes to fruition this season, because there's a lot of mouths to feed. But I think CJ Stroud, he's the guy to do it. So let's go on to the next guy on the list, a guy that didn't play much last year. He came into the season hurt. He still comes in at number 4. A lot of it is because of what we've seen him do. A lot of it is because we know what this guy is capable of. Is Joe Burrow, the Cincinnati Bengals quarterback. You see his stats up on the screen. Nothing really to bat an eye at. He did go to the white party, so he's still got the swag. He's still Joey Cool.
He was still in Paris, open back T-shirt.
Exactly. He's still doing the Paris week. Ron,
horrible.
One second.
He's taking a little break here, but I'm just throwing it to Ron because Ron is the Joe Burrow guy for the podcast. So give your guy your flowers. Why should he still be number 4? And why shouldn't people, question the ranking? Well, while Ron does that, I'm going to say, again, a lot of it is.
You can go if you want.
Yeah, go ahead, Justin. Why should he still be number 4?
You got to go to November for Burrow, where football matters. In November and later, the kid is 20-9 in the AFC North. The kid wins when it matters, so you have to put him inside your top 5. Joe Burrow, he is a little bit out of sight, out of mind, because 2023 injury, we didn't get to see him much, but what's capable around him. Now, if they secure those pieces around him, Higgins and Chase, they're in it again. They're going to be in it again.
Yeah, with a guy like Burrow, you always have a chance. Ben, what's up with you and Joe Burrow? You still liking him?
Yeah, baller. Like I said, I referenced him with CJ Stroud. It's one of those guys that you just knew out of college. Like
facts.
When you see him smoking the cigar, and
that's cold.
No Diddy, the Riz, like that picture is just like that's just it's boss shit. Like that he's gonna go, and Johnny Manziel wasn't doing that until after he got into the league. So this guy is legit. I think I had him at number 4 in my rankings. The thing for me now is can this guy stay healthy now at this point, right?
Yeah. Got to stay on the field.
We have 2 seasons where the Bengals have missed the playoffs out of his 3 or his 4 years with the team. So, I mean, if you're the Bengals, let's invest into some O-line, because it's not like Burrow really even takes off scrambling, to get injured like that. But baller when he's on the field. But at this point, I mean, we're kind of close to being like, well, can this guy stay on the field?
Yeah.
Can he not? I think it's a legit question to ask.
For sure. I know
sometimes they ask if this guy likes taking hits, because it seems like he, that gets him in the game or something. It's a little weird.
Yeah, he's hurt some guys who's drafted him early in fantasy. I know we like to talk about that with the injury the past few years. Ron, I'm going to throw it to you, but first, guys, please hit us with a like. Please hit us with a share. It would be much appreciated. Ron, what's good with you and Joey B?
Shit, everything is good with me and my quarterback, dog.
What about you and your internet connection, dog?
Shit, hey, it was just a charger, fam.
There we go.
All right.
What's up, Mike? Raul Gonzalez. What's up, Stevie from NRG?
That's cool, Raul, man. What's up, Raul?
Raul, I appreciate y'all guys for watching.
guys.
Even if it's just for a little bit, or dropping in who you think your top 10 quarterback is. But let me get to Joey B, bro. I mean, this guy's a star, boys. All right. And what I'm going to say about him is Justin has said number one quarterback on everybody's list has been set in stone. Go, blah, blah, blah. Right. Who's the only guy on this list who's taking it to him? Joey B. Joey B's the only guy who's taken it to Mahomes, has ever made Mahomes look like not an average quarterback. He's always going to be above average, but just like another great quarterback in the league who takes an L by another star. Dude, that injury couldn't have come at a worse time for him. I mean, you're talking, what was it, OTAs or some like preseason, bullshit where he's rolling out. I mean, that's terrible. And then you have T. Higgins acting like a diva. But to me, the performance on the field is what speaks for itself. Incredible season at LSU. Transitions that to going to the NFL and beating Patrick Mahomes. This guy can make any throw on the field. He does have Jamar Chase, but he still has to put the ball in a place for him, to catch it. 25th, 20th, and 17th, his numbers weren't great, but Allen made a great comment that says he just has that winning aura. Top 10 quarterback for sure. Definitely top 5. He's on the fringe because of injury, but other than that, he's in my top 5 for sure. I have him personally at my bad. I have him at 8.
Oh, you had it. Well, I had him.
Forget everything I fucking said.
It's because it's like I said, Ron, when he was injured for the whole season, it's out of sight and out of mind with Joey B right now. But what you said was so crucial is that who else has done it to P. Mahomes? He's the only one. So if he's healthy, he's top 5.
Did he go into Arrowhead and win? Or was that win?
I think so.
Oh, that was at home. I think he was at home.
Was it at home? Oh, and then because they were calling it Burrowhead. Remember?
Yeah, no, he went into Arrowhead. He went into Arrowhead and beat them.
That's right.
For that Super Bowl run. Yeah. All right, so let's let's get to number 3. This guy is a pretty polarizing player, I would say. It's none other than Lamar Jackson, the former Heisman winner, the 2-time regular season MVP. Lamar Jackson just got done winning it in 2024 off the back of a pretty good passing season for his standards, or by anybody's standards, really. Not going to shade him there. About 3,700 passing yards, 24 pass touchdowns, kept the interceptions under wraps, which we'll get to with some of these other guys. 821 rush yards, led the league for quarterbacks. 5 rushing touchdowns, came in at 4th. And again, like I said, he was a 2024 regular season MVP. The story for me is Lamar Jackson in the playoffs. But before we even get to that, Justin, he's your boy. You had him ranked at number 2, higher than everybody else here. Give Lamar your flowers.
Yeah, because at the end of the day with the Ravens, they go as Lamar Jackson goes. He can only take them so far. And if they're going to go far, it's because of him. He's their quarterback. And you know what? He's probably RB1 as well. He's the MVP, 2-time MVP, just coming off MVP season. So I don't know if there's another QB other than one who is as crucial to their team as Lamar Jackson is.
Yeah, the whole offense is tailored around him. He is like the only player really that has the offense is really built around him, and it's hard to get a backup. Ron, what are your thoughts on Lamar Jackson? I know, Justin, you mentioned big games. The last time we saw Lamar, not so good. Did not close the deal at home. Ron, what are your thoughts on Lamar Jackson?
Shit, man. Where's Louis at? We need Louis Rocha on the show because he's the number 1 Lamar guy. Shout out to Louis, a big supporter of the squad. Roland, my thoughts on Lamar are there are no thoughts for me to have because this is another guy who makes a damn big deal. You guys saw the game, right? The fans holding the sign that says like "Pay Lamar" or something in the tunnel, jumps up, grabs the sign.
That's dope.
No, that's fucking awesome. And then you go out and you get paid and you lose. I mean, okay, yes, you don't have a running backs all year. Your Mark Andrews was kind of backed up. Zay Flowers,
everyone's injured.
Zay Flowers is like the little kid from the Little Giants. Like, you need to go get a toilet paper roll. Maybe he'll catch that.
Mark Andrews missing most of the year too. I mean,
yeah, but guys, all these are excuses. If you're Lamar Jackson and you say that you deserve the money and you get the money, and you're in the possible MVP race, and you're first in rushing, and you have 5 rushing TDs rolling. These stats are amazing. Great job. 65% quarterback rating at 4th, right? Top 10 this, top 5 that.
Talking
guys,
a run, right, Ron?
How many fucking years are we going to be talking about Lamar? Like, he's
in
great.
the playoffs.
But he ain't going to get you the AFC Championship. He ain't going to get you the Super Bowl. I have him at 5 for me because he's a specimen, right? He's a freak. And it just doesn't transition to wins. And if we're going top 10 quarterbacks, you have to transition to wins. To the guys at the top of this list, just win, baby. And Lamar does not just win.
Ben, and anything to add on to that?
Yeah, real quick, I'm gonna give a live update. Colombia's battling, boys.
Jeez.
Colombia, they added 7 minutes. They're in the 93rd, 1-0 Copa America to go to the finals and face Argentina. We talking about sports. But as far as Lamar goes, I mean, I agree as far as the winning stuff. Like when you need that big throw, Roland, me and you, I think this is when I had barely moved back to New Braunfels, and I'd go to your apartment and we'd watch college football. And you, I mean, you were one of the biggest Lamar advocates at Louisville, and I just hated the fact that he was so inaccurate. Last year there were a bunch of injuries. This year, I mean, he got Derrick Henry, bro. There's no excuse. There's no excuse anymore. I mean, this is Derrick Henry who finally wanted to get away from the Titans, go and maybe ring chase, if you will, because the Ravens are up there, but
they're contenders, yeah.
For Lamar, I'm off. Even in fantasy purposes, I'm kind of shying away from Lamar. He's in a division with the Steelers, with the Browns. These are hard-nosed defensive games where Justin Tucker ends up, killing it. So for me, Lamar, I think he's a top 5 quarterback, not somebody that I'm looking to draft in fantasy. I know he has that one MVP to his name, but two now, but no, I'm off Lamar.
Yeah, the only thing I'll say, just to throw him a little bit of bail, is particularly on that playoff game, because I was pretty adamant about it when it happened. I mean, he didn't fumble. That was Zay Flowers, not trying to point any fingers at anybody. He did have that terrible interception where he threw it into triple coverage. Mm-hmm. But then the other thing is they only ran the ball like once or twice in the whole second half, and the game was close. Like they completely just went away from what they do. And they turned Lamar Jackson into a pocket passer. And we all know what happens when he becomes an exclusive pocket passer. Ben alluded to it from his college days being inaccurate. He still has some of those tendencies. He'll hold on to the ball a little bit longer. He'll make
the book is out on him.
Yeah, like in the playoffs, you can game plan for him. We saw him lose to the Titans that one year, didn't he? So yeah, it's weird with Lamar Jackson. But he's still number 3. He was the MVP this past year. A little bit of trivia before we get to number 2.
Ooh,
if anybody, honestly, anybody here, including you guys, anybody in the comments, I will personally cash app you guys $5 if you can tell me. Well, it has to be within like 15 seconds of me saying this. Who was on top of Lamar Jackson in terms of the rushing touchdown rankings at number 3? Jalen Hurts and Josh Allen, spoiler, were tied for number 1. So there's one guy ahead of him with 5 rushing touchdowns, or 6 rushing touchdowns rather. Can anybody guess who was the? Yes,
just say it. Fuck it if you think.
I'm gonna go with Jared Goff.
No. Give you guys like 10 more seconds.
It wasn't Dak. It wasn't Mahomes.
There was a guy who say a name, bro.
There was a guy who kept getting in. I forgot who it was.
Comment section. Anybody?
Time's up. Eddie's in the comment.
Eddie's
on that Dak every season.
Nope.
Trevor Lawrence.
No. Okay, so
you said Trevor Lawrence.
It's Joshua Dobbs.
Oh, never would. Oh, that's right. He just went off for the Cardinals, right?
He was getting picked up.
And he got traded.
Football. Yeah.
And then the Vikings. Yeah, Joshua Dobbs.
Stevie, thank you for playing, but Trevor Lawrence, no. Eddie Salazar, Baker Mayfield, good. That's a sneak right there, Eddie. But no cigar.
I was just thinking QB sneak, man. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, it was Josh Dobbs. He had a pretty good season there for a few
trivia,
years.
Roman.
Yeah, that was a pretty good one, I thought. All right, let's go to number
I was like
2.
Stump the Schwab quality trivia right
Forgot
there.
that guy was even a starter.
Number 2, another guy who I feel is pretty polarizing, and it's because of the stats in the middle of the page. It's Josh Allen, our number 2 quarterback. He had a pretty good year by his standards. He was Mr. Superman for the Bills, led them deep into the playoffs again, didn't result in a Super Bowl, but 4,300 pass yards, pretty good QBR, 29 pass touchdowns. But what makes you kind of cringe a little bit are those 18 interceptions. Not so good, probably towards the bottom in terms of the top 32 quarterbacks, 524 rushing yards, and he did lead the league in rush touchdowns along with Jalen Hurts for quarterbacks. Ben, he was your former boy. Now it's Josh Allen, your rival in the AFC. Why should he still be the number 2 quarterback? I know you still have the cape on. I have the cape on.
I was
for Josh
about
Allen.
to go change jerseys, bro.
Chingos,
Why should Josh Allen still be number 2?
I had Josh Allen number 2 still, but it's just because, like you said like Superman ball. That's kind of the reason why he hasn't gotten over the hump, is because he's forced to play Superman ball. He doesn't have that running back. There was, those rumors when CMC was out there. They were rumored to get him. They were rumored to get Barkley. They never went after that running back that can kind of balance out the offense. It's just, is Josh Allen going to throw the ball, or is Josh Allen going to run the ball? And, Cook will sprinkle in his good games here and there. He did last year, should be better this season, but Josh Allen is still going to be the first quarterback taken in fantasy football if you're playing with people that know what they're doing. He's going first. You know what I'm saying?
You're not going to take Stroud? You're going to take Stroud.
Well, I mean, I'm not picking the QB first, but he's the first QB off the board in just about every fantasy football draft. But the fact that he has to play that superhero ball is what makes him that. Whether he gets, over the hump, I think for the most part, everybody would say the window definitely closed on the Bills already. They ship out Stephon Diggs.
Mm-hmm.
Now they draft Keon Coleman from Florida State, who's probably going to be their number 1 receiver. Good and start. It's kind of restarting, right? After
still don't have a running back.
Josh Allen. So it's going to have to be him playing hero ball. It's going to have to be another 15 rushing touchdowns. Maybe you throw 30 touchdowns this year. And the interceptions are going to be there because this is a dude who just loves the big play, bro. Hard to take down, so there's guys twisting him and he's still trying to get rid of the ball instead of throwing it away. The interceptions are going to come. But, yeah, Josh Allen still, I think, number 2 consensus for the most part, except for Brock Purdy.
And I think Ron had him in at number 4.
Number 3.
Ron, and any reason why you had Allen there to detract, really, or are you pretty much on the positive with him?
Well, he's not 1, and 2 and 3, 2, 3, and 4 are just. I mean, there's a certain term you guys like to
splitting hairs.
Splitting hairs. There you go. Always coming through with the little innuendos.
Columbia closed it out, boys. 1-0.
Columbia won.
Yep, Columbia won.
They don't lose 2 years without losing.
You heard it here first. Going back to Josh Allen, look, man, top 5 in every category that Roland put up here. He's going to be a top quarterback in the league.
Top 5 interceptions.
Top 5 interceptions. But he's just not top 3 for me because of just the wins, simply. And hero ball can be great and it can be bad. There's even times where he would have receivers open and he tucked it in, he ran. And I think he gets in his head a little bit too much. I think he tries to overthink things sometimes. And until he gets out of his own way, I don't think he'll ever just either he gets out of his own way or he goes to another team. Then I think you see him, going to, AFC championships, NFC championships, whatever it is, and the Super Bowl. But I mean, hell of a player. I mean, very Dan Marino-esque career here for Josh Allen, I would say.
I see what you're saying with him. It does look at times that he's pressing a bit. He might be forcing.
Yeah, like he just like panics or something, and he just like
not so much panics, but like you can tell he's forcing the big play when it's not there necessarily.
I think the lack of talent though might fix that. I think he might, like in the playoff game, he could have taken a drag route underneath to move the chains, but he decided to throw that post down the middle where Chris Jones got a piece of him, and it took a little bit off that throw. I think the lack of talent and the receivers are going to make him play underneath a little bit more, and possibly it fixes him. But he just needs to stop wanting the big play every play, bro.
He just has to like trust the game plan.
Yeah,
trust his teammates, kind of vibe.
What say you, Justin?
Yeah, I had him at 3, and I believe he's going to be trending down. Like Ben said, the window is starting to close. Josh Allen's best attribute is picking up first down on third down with his legs, not so much his arm. That's his best thing. And, you got Diggs leaving. So that leaves Keon Coleman, a rookie they drafted out of Florida State. He was a stud at Florida State, great size. But then you go to his number 2 option. It's Curtis Samuel. Third option, Chase Claypool. Talent is going to be limited now. And that happens when you have to pay your quarterback. You're going to have less talent around you. So I think the window closing and the trend going down with his interceptions, I think we're going to see Josh Allen maybe outside the top 5 next year.
And I like Dalton Kincaid in this offense.
And Knox.
Yeah. They're going to be running a lot of 2 tight end set. I like Kincaid to eat a little bit. Not going to, put you guys on too much game here, but let's get on to get on to the number 1 quarterback.
Someone's got to catch it, like Eddie said.
Someone's got to catch it for sure. Thank you to everybody
out there
been with us this whole time. We're coming up on 40 minutes, almost an hour here. We're about to wrap things up with the number 1 quarterback. Justin alluded to it earlier. I don't think it's any secret. It's none other than the 3-time Super Bowl champ, the Super Bowl MVP from this past year, Patrick Mahomes. He did, have a little bit of that interception bug, kind of like Josh Allen. He was forcing it a lot at times, 14 interceptions, but still got it done when it mattered most. He turned it on in the playoffs, can still beat you with his legs. Didn't score any rushing touchdowns during the year, but I think he might have gotten in the playoffs. But he's always there to sneak in with the legs, especially when it matters most. So, guys, whoever wants to go here, it can be a free-for-all because we all had him unanimous number 1. It's Patrick Mahomes. What do you guys want to say about him?
For me, I just think it's 1, and then there's a little bit of a decline, and then you get 2, 3, 4. I think this guy's so far apart from the other 10. I think he's that level. And he's 3 Super Bowls already, and he has a chance at a 3-peat this year. I think this kid is special. I think we're seeing something that could surpass Brady, and I thought I would never be saying that because I'm such a Brady lover, right? 7 Super Bowls, but there's a chance for this kid to do that, and he's special, bro. A lot of those interceptions last year, some of them were fluky. They weren't necessarily his fault. He's hitting receivers dead on, and they're not catching it. This year, they added the kid from Texas, an absolute burner. You got another Tyreek Hill again. This offense is going to be electric, bro. They're going to do something special again.
Kadarius Toney, is he gone? Kadarius is gone?
I think he might come back. I think he might.
Kadarius Toney playing for the Dorados.
I think Tony's gone. I think they cut him. But yeah, who wants next?
I hate this guy, but I can't deny it. Got unanimous number 1. But now back to the hate.
Yeah, you didn't even give him flowers. You gave him like
that's not real flowers for the number 1.
Like a pedal.
Hey,
The
the way that people get excited to get invited to the white party, I get excited to get invited to the player hater ball.
That's facts. That's facts, Ben.
You might be sending invitations for that, huh?
Hey, low key though, Ron's a bigger hater, low key, because I can't wait for this next season when Ron bets Chiefs not to make the playoffs. Because he's been doing that the last 2 seasons when it looked rocky, the first 7 weeks trying to figure it out. And then, they figure it out after the bye. But Ron's been on, I don't think they make the playoffs.
It was 1 year last year.
When he was on that Herbert train, you know what I mean? But undeniable. You just hope that he doesn't do the 3-peat. I'm on the side that he doesn't beat Brady. And I'm ready to be anal about it. The way people are about the LeBron James and Michael Jordan shit, I'm ready to stand for Brady like he's Jordan in that argument. Like, I'm not ready for the Patrick Mahomes shit, bro. I'm not.
He might be inevitable. Ron,
there's a brawl in the stands. Colombians are fighting, baby. Let's go.
Wasn't the game over like 15 minutes ago?
Yeah, they're brawling, dog.
They spicy out there.
Ron, anything you want to say about Mahomes, the poster boy, the face of the NFL?
Dude, like, fuck. How do you not like this dude, man? Like, and then he's at the Mavs games and he's like cool off the field, and you see him on the Netflix show, and then we're from fucking Texas. I mean, he's a Red Raider. They don't really get a lot of love to begin with, but he's a Texas guy. Like, he's just like one of those dudes that you end up being like, fuck it, low key, he's kind of cool.
Yeah, he is kind of cool.
Dude, this guy's fucking unbelievable. I hate to say it, but I'm like, my thing is always, what do you do on the field? Show me, show me, show me. I mean, how much more do you need? He's over here playing like that game where he's like on a hobbled ankle. Everybody's all excited because he's hurt. They take him off the field for one play. You're like, yes, hell yes.
Someone else has a chance.
Yeah.
Live bet.
Yeah, live. And then he fucking next play, he comes on the field and probably throws a TD and just breaks your freaking heart, right? Goes on to win MVP. There's just nothing like him. I think that he will surpass Brady because he wins with whoever. You know, this guy wins with whoever because, I mean, he's had stacked teams. He's had terrible teams. He's had running
Brady,
backs.
Bro.
Running backs.
Everybody was writing the Chiefs' obituary when Tyreek killed them.
Edelman, bro. Like, come on. This guy
so he's like Brady in the fact that he wins with whatever's in front of him.
Yeah. And
there's a lot of Brady-esqueness to him, and it's happening so fast. I thought it would be years before we saw this.
I mean, and the competition now too is, you know, a lot tougher, I think, for Patrick Mahomes. Everybody always says the division that Brady was in was terrible. You had the Tuck rule, which a year that he shouldn't have won. Then you have, you know, all these kind of like wacky ass things that happened for Brady.
You won the COVID year,
bro.
So
we did our top 5 QBs, and all 5 were in the AFC. So he has the competition.
Yeah, there's some comp for sure. There's comp. Yeah, he's going through it currently. He's going through it.
He is, and I mean, Andy Reid's great there for him. He's just, I mean, fuck, man, we could be here all day saying how great this guy is.
The last thing I'll say too. Go ahead, Justin. Then I'll wrap.
The other thing that we got to say with him is that, you know, we penalize other quarterbacks when they like their team is paid up because they're not paid up. Well, Mahomes got his paycheck and he's winning with not the best talent around him. So that's another, you know, put into his bag, another feather in his cap.
And they did good this year, you know, putting together that defense. We didn't talk about it, but they were the top 5 defense throughout the whole year. So that did help out a lot. But just back to Patrick Mahomes, even Pacheco was a pleasure to watch throughout the whole year. But Mahomes also, when the team is struggling, I think he's that guy in the NFL, kind of how Aaron Rodgers used to do it when he would tell everybody to relax. He is also that quarterback that when he says, hey, I got this under control, there's no need to worry. He's going to right the ship. Patrick Mahomes has that respect, I think, of everybody that's watching, everybody that's in the league, his peers, contemporaries, whatever you want to say. Patrick Mahomes is that guy. So anything else you guys want to say about this guy?
He fucking makes it look so easy. You know, we talked about like Josh Allen, like rushing the play, panicking, not hitting the right read.
We didn't talk about
that. You know, we talk about Purdy being just a game manager. You know, it's just, he just makes it look so easy, man. I mean, he's explosive like CJ Stroud. He can manage the game like Purdy. He can sling it with the best arm speed and arm talent like, you know, Herbert.
He can get the calls that superstars get.
Yeah, like Aaron Rodgers.
On the sideline.
That's part of the game. That's part of the game. You have to reach those levels.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to get respect when you win, and this guy has the respect of even the refs.
Closing thoughts?
Es la mera paipa, pinche Patrick Mahomes.
Nah, closing thoughts? Fuck this guy, bro.
Well, we know where Ben stands. He's had to watch some pretty. He's on the other side of some of those tough losses.
Steph Curry of the NFL, bro.
For you, right? That's what this is, man.
So that just about does it. I have up on the screen the final 10 or the top 10, however you want to say it, including the guys that we introduced.
Put up our lists real quick. Can we see our individual list real quick?
And then here's our lists. These are our individual lists. Like I said, we had to average these out. That's how we came up with the top 10. But up here is how each podcast member ranked each of the top 10 and some of the guys that weren't mentioned that we talked about at the beginning. Gonna probably throw this up on Facebook if you guys want to know.
Because we got some good replies at times. We get good replies here.
Yeah, so we're going to put this up. You guys let us know who had the best list. You know, you got Purdy at 2. Somebody staking their claim right there.
Ron, you're going to get fucking attacked on
hell no. The true football aficionados will look at my list and be like, this guy's fucking spot on.
The 49er faithful is going to come through for Ron.
They're going to think a fucking,
I know what
they're going to think an 8-year-old did that list.
Can't say it enough, but thanks to everybody that's watched with us. It's the middle of the week. It's a random Wednesday, but you guys have been watching. So shout out to everybody. Like, subscribe, share, whatever you guys want to do. And you guys got any parting shots as I find the wrap up for us?
Nah, just, I mean, hit us with the comments. You know, who do you think had the best list? Maybe give your top 10 QBs if we left somebody out. I mean, we didn't talk much about Aaron Rodgers, but you know, 3 of our lists had Aaron Rodgers in there. It was just down at 9 and 10, but we expect a comeback year for Aaron Rodgers. Matthew Stafford, we didn't talk about.
I was going to say, Roman has him as high as 7.
Yeah, he won his Super Bowl, got over his hump, and I think he was kind of stamped as
made man. Yeah,
a made man, exactly. So aside, you just got to keep his wife off the podcast, and he's going to be fine.
Yeah. I have a question, just, prospective question for next year's list. Who is more likely to crack the top 10? And this is just for fun. Caleb Williams, Tua Tagovailoa, or Trevor Lawrence? Which of those 3 quarterbacks crack the top 10 for y'all next year? Most likely, you would think, just perspective.
Most likely, I'd say Caleb Williams has the best chance. He's got some weapons around him. The Bears have a little bit of hype. They got another 8.5 win season total for them to achieve. So if they make the playoffs, I can see Caleb Williams sneaking into the top 10, kind of like how Jordan Love did.
Bears always have hype, but I say none. I say none. I think the best chance is maybe Trevor Lawrence, because he's going to have to play out of his mind to make the playoffs, possibly win that division.
He got paid too.
With Aaron Richards, AR-15, is that what they're calling that guy nowadays?
They used to call him that in Florida, but he stopped that name because of the gun reference.
Oh, yeah.
I stand with him.
Thanks for keeping us safe.
Hey, we got running backs dropping next.
Yeah,
or what?
We got running backs or receivers. We got the running back list pretty much filled out already, so we'll probably hit you guys with the running back starting with number 10, maybe tomorrow or the next day. Justin, you got your hand raised. Do you want to say something? Or are you?
I just had it up.
All right, well, guys, everybody, it's been a pleasure. Ron, you're gonna say something? No.
The Netflix, the wide receiver show started today. I'm gonna watch that.
Good first episode. It was nice.
Nice. Who's on it?
Kittle's family's cool.
Who's
Kittle,
on it?
Jettas, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and I don't know anybody else. Was there anybody else on there that I missed? Debo. Yeah.
So we're gonna like Amon-Ra St. Brown even more, bro.
Okay.
Yo, so St. Brown speaks German, bro. His mother's German, and he's like fluent. And dude, that's a little cool thing I didn't know about him.
Yeah, he's born.
His dad, Mr. Olympia or Mr. Universe, jacked as you can get, bro. He's got a crazy family.
Something to look out for, because the Giants are on Hard Knocks. We've seen the Hard Knocks hype, and those
2 episodes are good.
Those players being drafted really high. They don't have many fucking players to be drafted in fantasy. What do you think? Like the
Neighbors, and that's it, man.
That's it, right? But maybe this Netflix show kind of bumps some guys up, or does the Netflix show not get the Hard Knocks bump?
No, Netflix is all just stars. I mean, those guys are already made men.
Yeah, they're already solidified.
Giants going like 0 and whatever the fuck this year. I'll tell you that.
Well, that GM, honestly, I don't like it for them.
Yeah, that's a bad look, what he was saying there. But, I mean, there's 2 sides to everything, I'm sure.
Gosh.
All right, guys, it's been fun. We're coming up on an hour here.
Awesome.
It's a little over 50 minutes. Did not expect for us to be on this long, but, hey, when you're talking about the NFL, you can just be here talking all day. But it's been a pleasure. Go ahead,
I think it was a short show, cuz usually we fucking run this thing in like past an hour if it's NFL for sure.
For sure, exactly.
Great job putting everything together, dude. The stats and everything were awesome.
Hell yeah. Well, guys, it's been a pleasure. You guys enjoy the rest of your weeks. We'll be back with another live pod next week, probably going to be running back. So you guys be on the lookout for that. Number 10 is going to be dropping soon. See y'all later.